viewers in diaspora, viewers in locals. Now, the narrative we have here says concerning restructuring. Uh, it's awaiting TINUBU's actions plan and what is all about restructuring and the infrastructural project allocations waiting for TINUBU, or TINUBU waiting for plan, or people waiting for the plan. Nobody knows where the shoe is pinning. Well, Felix Nwaneri reports on calls for restructuring of Nigeria and expectations that the Bola Tinubu administration will tinker with the nation's present governance structure in order to set it on the path of progress. Now, the clamor for restructuring Nigeria has been a recurring decima predicated on the dangers of ethnicity, religious bigotry, and economic deprivation staring the country on the face. Oh, now, its advocates are of the view that Nigeria is likely to disintegrate if urgent steps are not taken to address pertinent questions of autonomy for the states. Fiscal federalism to pave the way for resource control by the component units, state police, and indigenous and indigenship question. Wow, that's big. Well, among others, given the growing discontentment in the polity. Now, furthermore, the argument is that the unitary system of government presently in place under the guise of a federal system has only succeeded in creating a powerful federal government at the expense of the states and local governments, while some stakeholders have continued to query whether Nigeria should continue to operate the presidential system of governance and a full-time legislature, among others, in the face dwindling resources. Wow. I've not seen this article, but I've said it in my previous article. We have looked inwardly and we look vividly according to this narrative. We know it's a grammatical, tense. But notwithstanding, on a serious note, we will say Nigeria has given everybody an eye opener, or Nigeria is an eye opener to see the good, or to see the right from the left, or the wrong from the right, or the truth from the evil, or thereabout. Well, not to burst our bubble, it was also observed that high cost of governance at the various levels is partly responsible for the country's stunted development despite abundant human and natural resources. The belief is that after deduction of running costs by the federal, state, and local governments, little or nothing is left for capital projects. Now, there is a political school whose members are of the view that a return to regionalism or regionalism as the present 36 state structure is no longer sustainable. And that is what we talk about the constitution rebranding or restructuring the constitution, because you need to go back to the drawing board. That's where it is. If the car has a manual, as the governance of Nigeria has a manual, which is the constitution, but it should be obtainable for everyone. As soon as you are a citizen of Nigeria, as far as you are a citizen, and you are binded in one or two ways, you should have access to every legislative process, every judiciary process, or rather the executives. We should know what is going, because they are representing us. A proponent of this arrangement era are of the view that proliferation of states has continued to impair the country's development, and they made reference to India with a population of about 1.2 billion people with only 28 states. Oh my God, 1.2 billion people just with only 28 states. Okay, while Nigeria with a population of about 200 million has 36 states that are mostly unviable, as evident from their inability to even pay salaries of workers. Jeez. Now, if they combine these 36 states, against 200 million, I believe Nigeria is even richer than the India that I'm even talking about, with 1.2 billion people with only. Now, the 200 million is what is the 1.2 That's I don't even understand. So that's not even a quarter. It's not even half a quarter, two or thereabout of the population, and we have if we have everything in our states. We even have over 36 states. What are we doing with them? California, that is bigger than Nigeria, is just a state in the United States. Why is Nigeria have a problem like this? So many challenges, fault everywhere. Then it's not far. It's not even far fetched. Let's go back to 1999 Constitution amended. Hello, anything they amend, they need to amend it again. It's not original. Yeah, the failure of most of the states to live up to their responsibilities, notwithstanding, some individuals and groups are still clamoring for the creation of new states. And some of the demands, however, seem genuine given that they are inspired by the same concerns that preceded state creations. Minority fears, inequality, and skilled development. There are also calls for a retooling of the Nigerian federalism by tinkering with items on the exclusive and concurrent legislative list as contained in the 1999 Constitution as amended. Like I said it, I knew it was going to get to that point whereby the constitution was even amended, and so many exclusively contained, contaminated, concurrent legislative lists are just amended inside, embedded, and you think Nigeria will move forward. I don't think Nigeria is ready to move forward if we still abide by that 1999 constitution amended as amended. Now, the consensus among stakeholders is that the powers of the federal government should be whittled down, as it seems that it is the only government in the place with the 65 items it has powers on in the exclusive legislative list. It is against these backdrops that most stakeholders are of the view that restructuring of Nigeria cannot be more urgent than now than the way the nation is faced with existential threats. My God. For instance, the scary security situation has not only prompted some geopolitical zones to opt out for or opt for self help by establishing security outfit as the nation has failed to perform its core function of protecting its citizens. That was what brought in Eastern Security Network. You now see Iowa Consultative Forum or thereabout, you now see some people gather themselves because they want to secure their community. Yes, because the government has refused to do the needful. But I've seen some state governors proposing that citizens should take up arms and defend themselves against bandits, insurgents, and other criminal elements. Yeah. However, despite the inherent gains of restructuring, the same as there are some stakeholders who believe that the call is ill motivated, while members of these political schools predicated their position on the fear of disintegration and calls for restructuring, and it keep resonating across the country. Wow, like I said, we were discussing in the earlier time that even the northern part wouldn't want to disengage themselves from the southern part because there are benefits. But because of laxity and nonchalant attitude towards the northern leaders, and they believe 0 to 100, that is the gap and the level the rich can go 100. If you're rich, you're 100. If you poor, 0. And that is not applicable in a republic. Nigeria is a great nation. We may not have time to continue and to talk more, but notwithstanding, in the next article, we're going to continue as become the part 2.